All right, welcome back to our class. And today we are going to discuss how to use Python in solving problems in mathematics. Okay, for today's learning objectives, at the end of this activity, the students will be able to, number one, name variables. Now, in this activity, now you need to know how the variables are named. Okay, two, print what is asked in the problem, since we are dealing with problem solving, and most of the time problems will require or will ask the solution of a certain value or the value of a certain variable. So we are going to print that one, what is asked in the problem. And number three, solve basic engineering problem using Python, since programming is not just creating codes. No? In engineering, we use programming in problem solving. So instead of dealing with codes, no, we will focus more on creating solutions to the problem. All right. Now, speaking of creating solution, we can do that by creating an algorithm. So in this activity, at the end of this activity, you will be able to create your own algorithm. So an algorithm is a set of instructions designed to perform a specific task. In short, when we say algorithm is a step-by-step solution to the problem. Okay, now speaking of the problem, now let's start this discussion by creating a program that will convert the 60 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. So how are we going to do that? So in this case, now this is the application of what we call it unit conversion. So you can convert from one unit to the other unit. So this is the application. So we can solve this now by creating a code. Now, but before we start creating our code, we need to create an algorithm. So this is my algorithm. So I will, so by the way, this is a text file. No, this is just a text file. So in my algorithm, I will start solving the problem by assigning a variable to the temperature. So assign, let's say I will assign a variable to 60 Celsius or 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, so what is this variable? So we will assign a variable for this. Okay, now, after assigning the variable, what are we going to do next? We are going to solve for the Fahrenheit. So in this case, for our first step, now we can say that we will assign the variable as temperature in Celsius, and then we will convert that to Fahrenheit. So if you can still recall, we will assume or we will assign temperature in Fahrenheit as temp underscore F. That will be your temperature in Fahrenheit. All right. Now, in your next algorithm, in your next step, you are going to convert temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, we are going to convert temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit using the formula. So, can you still recall the formula? Okay, F equals 9 over 5 multiplied by C plus 32. This is your formula to convert degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit. But we will not be using F and C here. Instead, now we will be using the variables that we will be creating. Okay, now number three. Okay, after converting to Fahrenheit, now we are going to display the temperature in degree Fahrenheit. So our next step is to display the temperature in Fahrenheit. So this is how you create your algorithm. So take note, an algorithm is a step-by-step instruction. Okay, this is the output. No? Algorithm, that's my algorithm. Okay, so after creating my algorithm, it's time to create my Python code to display the temperature in Fahrenheit. We will start our code by creating a comment. So this is a comment. So comment starts with a number sign. This is a number sign, or commonly known as hashtag. So that is a number sign. So I can call this program as this program. Okay, this program converts degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit. Okay, take note. No? A comment in creating a comment in programming is also a good practice, so that if someone wants to read your program, he or she will understand how your program works because you put comments on that program. Okay, now we will discuss that later on how to create a comment on each of the lines. But in this case, now I will be putting comment in in my program that converts a degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now let's start our first line of code. So in this case, now we are going to assign, I will assign 60 to the variable now we have created. So that is temp C, or temperature in degrees Celsius, is equal to 60 degrees. That's how you assign numbers to the variable. Okay. All right. Now, after assigning numbers to the variables, we need to convert this variable or this temperature to another temperature in degree Fahrenheit. So I will label, so I will denote the degree Fahrenheit as temperature F. And I will be using, take note, we are in the second step of our algorithm. We are going to use the formula that is specified there. That's 9/5 times the temperature in Celsius. This is C. Take note, this is just the formula in your textbook. Instead of using C and F, I will be using temp C and temp F. So temp C, this is the temperature in Celsius, plus 32. So that's how you create your formula. So this line assigns a variable temp C equal to 60. This line converts the degree temperature or degree Celsius not to degree Fahrenheit. And the next line will be used to display the value of the temperature in Fahrenheit. So in this case, I will be using the print function. We can say the temperature in Fahrenheit is, okay, take note of the delimiter. I use single quote. You can use double quote if you want. So I'm used to uh, I'm used to this delimiter single quotation. All right, so we are going to display the temperature in Fahrenheit. So the temperature in Fahrenheit is, okay, comma, okay, temp underscore F. So it will print the word or the string, the temperature in Fahrenheit, and then it prints the temperature in Fahrenheit, the value of the temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, now let's try to run this code by clicking this button. Okay, run the code, and there you go. Okay, depending on the speed of your internet will be the speed of course, no, of the output to be printed. So in this case, now this will be your output. The temperature in Fahrenheit is 140. All right, That's the temperature in Fahrenheit. Let's try now a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius is equivalent to what? So again, run the button. That is equivalent to 212 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, another problem. Okay, what value of temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit they will have the same numerical value? So that is a board exam problem. So in this value, I will be using -40. -40 is the value where temperature in Celsius equal to temperature in Fahrenheit. Let's try. If I'm going to use -40 here, what will be the result? The result will also be -40 because that is the value of the temperature where your Celsius and Fahrenheit will be equal. Okay, that's it for our first problem. So what did we do in our first problem? We solved the problem first by creating an algorithm. After creating an algorithm, we created our code. Okay. The code was based on the algorithm that we have created. All right, now let's try. Let's try the second problem, sample problem. So in this case, now let me read the problem and I will add a text now to this cell. I will add a text cell so that I can create our algorithm. So sample problem number 2, find the mean of 10 numbers. 24, 56, 45, 23, 67, 12, 46, 18, 89, and 10. When we say mean, it means the average. So we are going to find what is the average of 10 numbers. Now, before we will find the average, I want you to create your own algorithm. So this is algorithm. This is how you format the text. Now, using if you enclose a text with double asterisk, it will be bold. Okay, it will display a bold character. So in my algorithm, I will start by assigning a variable to the 10 numbers. Okay, I will use assign variables with S to the numbers. So that's your first step. So whatever variables you want not to assign, that will be great. Okay, next, what are we going to do next is after assigning the variables, we are going to what? See if we have the variables. Yes, solve for the average value or solve for the mean. So in this case, now I will be using a variable average, a mean. Okay, mean is actually the average value. So how are we going to do that? So in our second step is to solve for the average value. When you say average value, it refers to mean in statistics. Okay, number 3. Okay. After finding the mean, what are you going to do next? Right, you display the mean value. So we are going to display the mean using the print function. So this is our algorithm. So it looks easy, no? But again, we are going to solve for the mean in this case. So in your textbook, the mean of the numbers can be calculated using the summation, using the sum of numbers divided by the total numbers, divided by the number of terms. Okay, the sum of numbers divided by the number of terms. So that's how you calculate the mean value. Okay, Now, what are we going to do next is to create a code, no, that will solve and display the mean of 10 numbers. So I will add a code cell here. So we can type our code. So I will start by creating a comment. Okay, this is one of the best practice, no, of most programmers, so that they can what we call this one. If someone wants to view your code, he or she will understand the code because of the comment. So I will write this program computes the mean of 10 numbers. Okay, now let's start with our first code. In our first code, we will assign variables to the numbers. So since we have 10 numbers, definitely we can assign 10 variables. Now I will name the variable as num1. Let's say num1 equals to 24. Num2, num2 equals to 56. Num3 equals to 45. Okay, num4 equals to 23. And num5 equal to 67. Num6 equals to 12. Num7 equals to 46. Num8 is equal to 18. Num9 is equal to 89. And the last number, num10 is equals to 10. Okay, now take note. Now in our algorithm, we assign variables to the numbers. Okay, because we will be using these variables to create our equation. Now, the second step is to solve the average value or mean. Okay, so we will denote mean, using this variable. So mean is equals to sum of the numbers divided by the number of terms. Now to compute the sum, so take note we have 10 numbers. So I can say this is 10. So to compute the sum, we can say num1 plus num2 plus num3 plus num4 plus num5 plus num6 plus num7 plus num8 plus num9 and plus num10. All right. Okay. That's how you compute the mean of 10 numbers. All right. Now, so since we have the formula for the mean, now what are we going to do next is to display the average value. So we can use the print function to display the mean of the number. So the mean, let's say we can say the mean of 10 numbers is, okay, comma, mean. So that's how you display the mean of the numbers. Take note, our solution is a long solution. We can actually solve this using a shorter way. But to emphasize basic calculation using mathematics, since we are just doing basic programming, so it is easily, this method can be easily understood by a beginner. Okay, this is how you create your code. What is important here is you know how to assign variables, you know how to create equations, and you know how to print the values. Okay, now let's try to solve for the mean. So in this case, the mean of 10 numbers is equal to 39. Okay, I will show you the alternate solution here. So this is the alternate solution. So this time I will be using of sample problem 2. Okay. This time I will be using list. Okay, I can say number. Okay, let's say num is equals to, I will be using list here. So in this case, this is 24, 56, 56. Okay, now uh, just a minute. Now I'll be back. All right, no, I'm back. No, ipatitip ako sa bata ko. Okay, nagtimpla titi. Numilig sa titi. Okay. 24, 56, 45, 23. No, I will be listing all the numbers here. 67, 12, 46, 18, 89, 10. Let's review 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is missing here? 24, 56, 45 is missing. Okay, that's 10 numbers. That's the value of, that's the numbers. Okay, I actually created a list of numbers and then store that to the variable num. Or you can say numbers. We can label this as numbers. So the variables, no, the variable is actually numbers. This is a list. Now, what are we going to do next? We will be using for loop here. We will be using for loop in this problem. But before that, we are going to initialize the sum. So because we will be calculating the sum. So in this case, I will initialize the sum to be 0. And I will initialize the number of terms, let's say equal to 1. Okay. This is the number of term. Or let's say equal to 0 first. Let's try if this will work. We initialized numbers, we initialized sum, and we initialized n. All right. Now, what are we going to do next? The next thing to do is we are going to use the for loop. So when you say for I, take note, I in numbers. Okay. When we say this is a for loop, I will be discussing for loop, in our topic, in our future topic. This is our future topic. I just want you to know that there are a lot of solution to a certain problem, especially if you are using programming. So I here will be the variable that will be used, meaning to say all the numbers listed here will be stored to I one at a time. Okay, one at a time. It will be stored to variable I. Then we are going to compute the sum. Since sum initially is 0, no, we are going to add 0 to the value of I. So I initially will be 24. Okay. And then 24 plus 0 will be equal to 24. Now sum is sum is 24 for the first iteration. Anyway, now we will be doing more. I will be explaining this further now when we reach this topic. And then we are going to increment the sum. So the sum na, the value of n, I mean. So n now is equal to 1. That refers to the first number. After that, after that, I will exit the loop. take note of the indentation, okay, the indentation for looping. So we will discuss that later on. Okay, now after calculating this block of code means it will store all the values of the numbers to I, and it will sum up all the numbers, and this n equals to n plus 1 will is actually a counter that will count the number of numbers or the number of terms, that is counted. Okay. Now we are going to calculate the mean by dividing the sum equal to the value of n. That's how you equal to the value of n, not number, n, because n here is our counter. All right. Now, and then we are going to display that using the display function, let's say the mean of 10 numbers. Okay, 10 numbers is, okay, comma, mean. Okay, let's try to run this one. This is an alternate solution. You don't have to learn write this right away. Okay, just focus on the first code. You will notice that the value, is the same. They have the same value of mean, but they have different. We solve this differently. We use different approach. The second approach is the most widely used approach. Like for example, if you are going to sum, or if you are going to get the mean of 1 million numbers, you cannot create 1 million variables using the first solution, but you can just create, you can just store your numbers in a file, and then let Python read that file. Now we will tackle that in our future topics. Okay, now this is problem number 2. No, I actually put two solution here. I show you two solution here, two solutions for problem number 3. Now for this problem, now we are going to solve for the slope of the line segment. So we are going to find the slope of the line segment with endpoints A 2, 1, and B negative 5 and 8. Okay, now this topic was in your pre-calculus in your senior high school. I don't know if you have reviewed this in your calculus problem calculus course. I have no idea. But when we say slope of 2 points, that is not new to everybody. So first we are going to create an algorithm. Okay, let me remind you, an algorithm is a step-by-step instruction. Okay, step-by-step instruction or step-by-step process to solve a problem. So you can use algorithm in solving mathematics problem. You can use algorithm in creating your program. Okay, that's it, for algorithm. Okay, what is this? I will delete this first. Okay, this is blank. Okay, I will go back to algorithm. So our first step is to assign variables to the endpoints. So we can, okay, we are going to assign variables, to the endpoints. And then what are we going to do? After assigning the variable to endpoints, we are going to solve the slope using this formula. What is the formula for the slope? Now I will denote slope as m. So m is actually xy2 minus y1. That's how you solve for the slope. X2 minus x1. This is in your pre-calculus textbook. Okay, if you cannot recall the formulas, to solve the problem, then you can always refer to your textbook, or you can search Google. That is because you are fond of memorizing formulas. Now in my class, I hate memorization. I just want to to experience all of that problem. You can easily memorize the problem if you are using it frequently. Like in programming, if you want to memorize all the codes, no, then use it. Okay, then after solving the slope, we are going to display the slope using the print function. All right, this is our algorithm. Now it's time to create our program. Now let's start by putting a comment. This program, let's say this program solves that's or computes the slope given 2 points. Oh, okay, given 2 points, you can compute the slope. The first step now in our algorithm is to assign variables to the endpoints. So I will show you how to assign variables the easy way. Like for example, in point A, you can label A as x1. Let's say x1 comma y1. Now, you can do that. x1 comma y1, that is 2 comma 1, meaning to say the first number here will be assigned to x1. The second number here, 1, will be assigned to y1. That's how you put variables in Python. So let's say for the second endpoint, we can label that as x2, y2. Take note of the comma notation. This is negative 5 comma 8. Okay, now that's it for assigning variables to the endpoints. The next step is to solve the slope using the formula in your book, in your textbook. In this case, I will use m to denote the slope, or shall we say, I can use the slope. No, so it is more understandable for non-engineering readers. Okay, this is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. That's how you compute for the slope. And then for the third step, we are going to display the print function. We are going to display the slope using the print function. So the slope is comma slope. So that's how easy programming, solving problems using programming. It is more easier than calculating it using hand calculation. Okay, now let's try to run the code and let's see what is the slope. So in this case, in this problem, the slope is equal to -1. So I hope you enjoyed watching my presentation using Google Colab. So I suggest you use Google Colab to create your own code. All right, now in our hands-on activity, I have here problems 1 to 8 plus a challenge problem. Okay, now let me read the problems here. In our hands-on activity, you are going to solve this problem using Python. Problem number 1, how many seconds is 2 days, 11 hours, and 25 minutes and 20 seconds? So in this problem, you are going to convert 2 days, 11 hours, and 25 minutes and 20 seconds to seconds. Okay, so this is a conversion of unit. Well, in problem number 2, you are going to solve the surface area of the sphere of radius 20 meters. You can use the value of pi equals to 3.1416. So initially, the pi is equal to 3.1416. But in in our future topic, we will use math functions to get the value of pi. No, we will not assign pi 3.1416 in our future programs. Okay, in problem number 3, find the volume of the right circular cone. Can you still recall the volume of the right circular cone of radius 5 meters and a height 6 meters? Same, use pi equals to 3.1416. So for problem number 4, find the volume in cubic meters of an open top box having a dimension of 20. Oh, take note, the volume should be in cubic meters. So technically, you are going to solve for the volume and then convert that to cubic meters. Having a dimension of 200 centimeters by 300 centimeters by 50 centimeters. Okay, now for problem number 5. This is a problem in physics. A car accelerated from rest and reached the top speed of 120 miles per hour in 10 seconds. Solve the acceleration in kilometers per hour. So this is just conversion of units. Okay, so problem number 6. A body is dropped from the building and so I will put ED. Okay, and reach the ground in 8 seconds. What is the height of the building? So, and next question, what is the velocity of the body as it hits the ground? So you will display two outputs here, the height of the building and the velocity of the body as it hits the ground. So I'm sure you can still recall your physics topics back in your senior high school. So review that one because next semester you will have a physics course. Okay. Not under me, but under some teachers. Okay, for problem number 7, find the surface area of a cylindrical tank. If the volume is 200 cubic meters, with a height of 10 meters. Use pi equals to 3.1416. Take note, when we say surface area, it refers to the covering of the cylinder, the materials used to create a cylindrical tank. So surface area is given. Okay, and you are going to find the volume. No. Again, no, find the surface area. So surface area is unknown, but the volume is given and also the height. Okay, for problem number 8, this is an application in calculus. Find the limit of x squared minus 25 all over x minus 5 as x approaches 5. Take note, x approaches 5. When you say x approaches 5, it is not equal to 5. So it can be equal to 4.9999 or let's say 5.0001. That's the value of x. It does not say x equals 5, but it approaches 5. Okay? So here is your challenge problem. So a while ago, we learned how to solve for the slope. So in this challenge problem, you are going to find the equation of a line. So the equation of the line, I will emphasize what is this equation. We will just use y equals to mx plus b. Okay, can you still recall what is mx plus b? Okay, I will just use equation here. Y is equals to mx plus b. So when you use equation, you have to enclose the equation in dollar sign. So it will create an equation. All right, now, so for the challenge problem, you are going to find the equation y equals mx plus b of a line passing 2 points, a negative 2, 0, and b 3, 6. All right, now that's it for today. Now I hope you have learned something. For more questions, you can PM me or just post a discussion on our Canvas course. Okay, this is it for today. Now I'm sure you are all responsible enough not to solve and practice problem solving. Take note, programming is a skill, and that skill should be improved by practicing. Okay, practice problem solving. Okay, do not copy, paste, and replace variables. Now that you cannot learn problem solving by copy and pasting, but you can learn problem solving by practicing how to solve problems in mathematics. Okay, so science and tuition, practice, and make the most out of this course. See you next meeting.